That back there is not real.
There was a group of reptilians there, and they stood around me in a circle.
Tradition tells us that the army of the Messiah is not to come from heaven, but is to rise from the earth.
All right, truth seekers. Anyway, I went to go see this movie this weekend, this Sinners by Michael B. Jordan, where he played into the movie itself. Although I'm going to tie in today in some conversations that, this one eye thing and what it means, how it ties into, and possibly why, of course, before this movie was put out, he was already signaling his allegiance to what I call the Illuminati, the all-seeing eye that goes all the way back to the serpent to reptilian. So we're going to talk about that tonight and give you tons of photos of this one eye thing and give you some deeper meaning of what they're seeing right now in plain sight. So I want you to prepare yourselves, because some of these people you're going to see is people you love, people you probably watched, and you may be even a fan club of these people. Hey, again, what you're about to see, you may not believe it. All right, so before we get into that, let's first of all just kind of get into the news of the Pope. As you know, today, the Pope transition. Now, of course, we can say what we want to say when it comes down to the Pope, when it's tied to what I call the reptilian things, when it comes down to, Snake Hall and all of the connections to the royal families and everyone else. And so I want you to prepare yourself, because we're going to monitor the life celebration of the Pope. And when they do this, and I promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to see DNA reptilian type things or serpent connections to the next transition, to the next person that he probably shapeshift to. I don't know. But anyway, you know what we do here. Anyway, I'm Roderick Martin. If you're here for the first time, make sure you share and like this videos, because here we talk about the reptilian agenda and we tie things in. And maybe new to you, some of these things that we talk about, you may not know that they connect all the way back to this insidious plan or things that's out there. But either way, this is how we cover it tonight. And we're going to go deeper into the scenario tonight. So anyway, I hope you had a great weekend. And once again, do go check out the movie. I'm just not just so I'm promoting it, but when you see these type of movies and you see these type of things that's in the movies, from vampires and all of that, and you all should know, if you've been around here long enough, the vampire stuff ties into the reptilian, from the rituals, the blood, drinking, and all of these things. So they just changed. The myth changed over the years to dragons and different things. So these things kind of go into hand in hand when you think about it, and you think about the darkness, and you think about Lucifer of the light, or all of the innuendos that goes into what we talk about here. Then it all ties in together, because it's all really one big smorgasbord that I think a lot of people don't pay close attention to the symbolism and everything else. But once again, we will talk about all of that, beginning with this all-seeing eye. Now, I was surprised the first time that I went down the rabbit hole and I started going into all of these things. And then, of course, seeing favorite actors, and some of these pictures, I'm going to show you some people that you will never believe that are now having allegiance to what we're going. So stand around tonight, because I got a lot of photos to go into it, and a lot of connectivity of this conversation to expand your mind, to send you into the possibilities of all this information, to where I go when I talk about the reptilian agenda. And let me set the tone so you all know when we talk about it. It is a triangle, how we present this here on this show. And if you haven't seen it, just kind of focus on what you see here. I break it down into 3 sections. The first part is going to be your deities, the demonic things, the not this human or out of the world, different dimension controllers, or people that are puppeteers to what's happening. Then you move into the real world, our 3D dimension. Now you have people from Masonic secret societies, Illuminati, the original Illuminati bloodlines, from all of the what I call the elites that are pulling the string. And this includes the big secret keepers. This include people that, organizations, 3-letter organizations that we, the people, think we control. Then it leads all the way down to the people they do control, which we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to show you a lot of people that they control. And if you saw the reminiscence of all of this, you would understand the section of you see down at the checkerboards, you see the monarch butterflies, and why it is a control system. And then ultimately it's after to control us, the masses. That's who they're after. Also, I've been getting really deep. I just want you to know, because it is about our energy. Everything leads to your vibration. And if you don't learn how to immediately to be able to take your vibration to the next level, then we become food for the reptilian agenda. We become louche is what they call it. I have a lot of teachings for you, but something that's real simple, very pictorial, where you have the pictures and you can understand about your energy and how immediately that we're all energy. Everything is energy. That is why they're after us. That is why they continue to create anxiety, wars, and all these things to keep our energy down. But if you go to the website, there's a link in the description, whythebigsecret.com/merch day. Here's a link in the description. Get you a download, a copy of this, the Book of Sacred Secrets, and protect your energy. Talk to your children, show everyone. Even myself have taken this very seriously, because this is my personal book. I downloaded the same thing you will have, and this is my personal custom book with the 7 chakras. And then in here, I possess the information, the same thing that you see, protecting energy. So I just have it in more of a, so you can do this too. You can print it up on this paper, but I make this in more sacred knowledge, sacred information on purpose. But anyway, let's get down into the show, because once again, you can find the book right there in the downloads right there. And that's right here on the screen. And you can download it tonight and start protecting your energy tonight, especially after you see some of the information that we're going to be going to. All right. So I'm going to start with Michael B. Jordan, and that'll be where we're going to start right now. And this was a GQ magazine photo of him that you see in the corner here, of him covering one of his eyes. Now, oftentimes, a lot of people don't know what that symbol means. So let me give you some details so you know where it's going when you see this. And you're going to know that out of all these photos that I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to show you some of the prime people that you know of, I'm going to show you other celebrities, actors, and different people who are all caught up in this monarch programming, Illuminati, up the triangle, up to the deities, all the way up to the possible of the reptilian control. The one-eye symbol is what we call a submission to the elite. So they're submitting to their controllers and saying to the world, and also to the other people who know who they are, that, hey, we control this people. They're part of our plan. The one-eyed gesture is not fashion or coincidence. It's a ritualistic thing that happened. It represents the eye of Horus. We talked about that the day when I was talking about the X, when a lot of people went off, Roderick, you're wrong about Elon Musk, the X symbols and all that stuff, when it's in plain sight and the evidence shows what I was talking about. It wasn't making this stuff up. In fact, we'll go to some of those things tonight, and you'll see some of the one eye, and some people are representing the X. And it's up to you to go look up these things. It's up to you to take yourself there, because oftentimes we don't do it. We don't take ourselves there because it just don't seem possible. But I will tell you, I'm either give you a warning or a good thing. And the warning is this. It's not a bad warning. It's if you keep coming here and you keep watching the information that I put out, you're going to be able to see it and not unsee it anymore. You're going to be able to see what I'm talking about, and it's not going to go unnoticed anymore. So prepare yourselves to be able to begin to see the unseen that is in plain sight that you probably have never focused on because of the programming. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And then once you not unsee it, you begin to understand it, and you can protect yourself and your loved ones and everyone else that wants to listen. Like I said, to what is happening when it gets down to this. Another thing is this is what they call a visual oath when you see this one eye. And it's an oath of obedience. And why would I say it's obedience oath? Because think about it. Some of these people are filthy, maybe got great money or great careers. Now, you may not see the ultra billionaires and all these people doing it because they don't have to. But when you're talking about people that are receiving checks from other people, money from these other occult societies and behind the scenes, these companies and all, they have to go through the obedience code in order to do and get paid. And it's something that they sign off of. And a nod to the all eye seeing is surveillance. It's the surveillance system of the elite control grid and is used to initiate, mark, and publicly display allegiance. Now, some of the photos I'm going to show you will probably hurt your feelings because it did for me to 2 or 3 of these people who are already trapped. And I'll make note of that when we get to it. We had about 30 or 40 of these. And so when I get to one, you'll hear my sentiments because it's not something that I expected, but to already know the system, though, is not unexpected once we get at. The eye itself is the gateway symbol for mind control. We talk about that here all the time, especially when you get into the lower part of the triangle, which is where we're going to hang around today in part of this when it gets down to the agenda that we talk about. So just kind of focus there. But to give you a little more clarity, I'll put the whole magazine cover. This is the GQ magazine. Now, you've all seen this guy. You've seen him in his rare form back when he was on The Wire, all of the younger things that he did. And then he comes into what they would consider today a sex symbol or all of this. But all of a sudden now with the eyes, why would somebody do that? Why would I want to have iced eyes? Okay, maybe it's just the attire. But some people have enough prestige, enough money that they can say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. But they will do it if they have to. And so therefore, you're going to see a lot of that tonight as we go down this rabbit hole. So be prepared for that. The next part is this. The symbol is a SPELL. I'm just going to say that for you. And as you already know, I got my grammar box and my virtual spelling box. If I misspell anything, go in there, take your conscious mind, and you get unlimited letters and you correct it. If I mispronounce something, make sure your conscious mind be able to go into my virtual grammar box and then taper it fit into your mindset, into your intelligence. So it then comes from here to there that you'll receive it. Even if I was doing sign language and my lips wasn't moving, your intellect will allow you to know what I'm saying. So don't get confused when I mispronounce something that does not sound according to you or anyone else. And it doesn't degrade who I am. I just couldn't pronounce the word right, maybe. But anyway, the energy harvesting is where we're going to go through the symbolic consent. See, when they do this and they get our consent from the public, it is a challenge for us to understand when we see these one eye. And so, like I said, I'm going to show you we're going to go through a lot of those things. But according to what they call a final call action rule, we're going to tell you that they got to let everybody know who they are aligned with. Now, I'm not going to mention, I can go deeper. So we can go underground a little bit with the all-seeing eye and where it goes to the eye of Horus. And we'll talk about that tonight too. But once again, these things are repeated viewing through award shows, music videos, film promotions, the stuff that you see all as an active form of energetic consent. And you're watching what I call a ritual. All right, so let's get into a couple of more of these photos and let me show you where we're talking about here. And we can kind of go into the details. And then I'll get into the chat in a little bit to a lot of you all to say hello to some of you so that we get down from there. All right, so the first photo, let's just get down with this particular, and some of these people, I found the photo and I really didn't know who they was, but I recognized the famous faces. So if you know who they are, make sure you put it in the chat just in case. This one is Jordan Sparks. Now, or is it Jordan? Yeah, Jordan Sparks. Now, do you think by happenstance that this is not done on purpose for her to not only have the triangle, the all-seeing eye covering up one eye, and you're going to see this everywhere, and her allegiance of saying this is what we do? What kind of oath requires a silent symbol and public witness? Well, because the power isn't secrecy. It's showing their control openly. Why no one else dares to name it? This isn't hidden. This is a declaration. She's doing a declaration to the all-seeing eye, the Illuminati. Now, let me make sure you understand this, and you got to continue to understand where I'm going. The Illuminati is a original secret bloodline that ties back to the ultra elites, which ties back to the reptilians. Okay, you can go Google that. You can chat GPT it, and it'll tell you. Okay, it's not going to lie to you. The Illuminati on the ground level are part of the Illuminati control. They are not the Illuminati. The Illuminati is based on bloodline. And I say this constantly because I want you to know, but when you see these things and these things, they are paying homage to the controllers, and they are in the Illuminati organizations, but they're not the original true Illuminati. And a lot of these people, we don't even know who they are, be honest with you. They're so far up the food chain, of the money chain, the control chains, that if they are in control, they're out of sight. Why? And I would do the same thing. Why would you? Who needs to know who I am? But I will let the world know what I'm doing through the minions and the people. This one goes all the way back. This is hip hop way back. MC Lyte back in the day, and she was already putting the all-seeing eye up. Back then, people were thinking, oh, it was just cultural. Oh, it's Egyptian. It's all of these things. But they had their hands in the cookie jar controlling these people even back then. So it wasn't nothing new that they're doing at controlling. So make no mistake about it. A lot of us can go back to MC Lyte and a lot of her music. I mean, she has some great music. So that's not something that I will say it's a bad thing, when it comes down to it. So we can continue. Another particular photo, which is right here. Jared Leto, is that his name? Now, take a look at this. Now, are you seeing what I'm talking about, right? This is another GQ. Are you seeing the profound, what I'm talking about? You think they're just posing this way. Now, he has two triangles on the fire triangles or whatever. He has triangles on both. And you better believe that they probably put him there, right? And then he has the top triangle. So he's showing what I'm showing you in this particular photo right here, which is the triangle of control. And they're just saying it right there in plain sight. So anyways, right here in front of the magazine, and he's still covering one eye. So that lets you know every time that they cover one eye, they're not hiding it from us. They're identifying each other. The symbolism functions like a passport between worlds. Hollywood's elite and occult priests, they all put these things together, and it's not for you. It is for them. So make no mistake about it. What do you think so far? And I'm going to put this in the context here, but I would love to see your comments, and make sure you like the video. Please like this video. Now, I'm going to show you some more. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it, okay? Once you do this. So you're not going to be able to unsee this once you begin to do it, and you're going to notice it everywhere else. Here's one with Celine Dion, or whatever her name. Y'all know how to pronounce that. Anyway, Eyes on Me was the name of this. And here you go once again. Now, she's got 3 fingers. I don't want to alarm you to understand what the 3 fingers mean, but it is 666. So some of you need to know this. However, once again, you can see her doing the one eye and understand the meaning of the eye. I want you to know, and I'm going to look you in the face to tell you the eye is reptilian, people. It is reptilian. The one eye is not just Egyptian. It's reptilian. It's if you go back to David Icke's book, The Children of the Matrix, and in the human race, Get Off Your Knees, he talks about it. And I know some people are like, well, David Icke, blah, blah, blah. But the dude was on point. He's been on point. He connects the eye of Horus with the reptilian eye. The slitted pupils It's the vertical gaze and the cold-blooded surveillance is what it is. A lot of these celebrities, hosts, are puppets of the reptilian entities because they're focusing, they have to control to keep our energy down so that they can feed off our energy loose. So you want to make sure you keep your energy at a certain level and pretty much of that. He said, I think they use artists to cast spells. Yeah. And you're right, Dr. Strange. That exactly. And I said that at the beginning and I just spelled it out. SPELL is what they're doing. And they're doing this right in plain sight. And people that are tapping into our subconscious mind and doing this. And this is why if you get the book of Sacred Secrets, I'm telling you about that tonight. You can keep that vibration up. Because someone once told me, and it was like, when I was reading all these books, and it was like, Roderick, are you afraid that you're sharing this information? Will the reptilian under the fifth dimension, underground, find you? Well, I quickly learned through all of the teachings and things that I'll share with you and the things that we share in our private area is that as long as you keep your energy and vibration at a certain level, they can't even find you. They can't see you. But when they bring it down, when this anxiety, all this stuff we're going through called life brings your vibration down, boom, they can see, attach, and begin to feed. And sometimes they can keep it down there a long time. And sometimes it's hard for people to get away from that. But after all, that's not what we're doing here. We're going to get away. Here's another one. And now y'all seen this guy before, right? Now this one is very essential. Look at it once again. He's doing his all-seeing eye. But when they do the three fingers is the satanic serpent, what they call 666. Okay, that's exactly what it is. Sometimes they hold it in a different direction, but they do this in plain sight. And these are $1 million businesses. They know what they're doing. They're not ashamed of putting these people on front of the cover, and then we admire them and begin to do that ourselves, paying homage to this stuff. But once again, it's right there. And so when you think about the celebrities as hosts of puppets of the reptilian entities, Ike, Springmeier, both detail how the elites, in particular through trauma-based programming, and we've seen his breakdown, are possessed or controlled by non-human consciousness. They call them the archons, the reptilian hybrids, the Dracon or Dracon entities or Dragon. These things is where it is. And oftentimes they think that it's something different. Let me look in the chat real quick. They are enchanting. Yeah, is this thought? Yeah, or is this something that like? Yeah, they're doing it. And once again, if you get an opportunity to get you some knowledge, you want to get this book. This about $100-something, and it's the reptilian bloodlines, and it tells you everything right there. It's going to go deeply. But anyway, I will talk about it a little bit, that we're going to add more people to our inner circle. And if you want access to all of this, only if you're going to be a true speaker, or maybe you're going to be a researcher, because there's so much information we cannot go through it. But there's some stuff that is going to make your eyes cringe, and you're going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But you will be prepared for everything if you join if you're going to be doing a podcast or something later, you want to get with me, email me, or call me on my hotline. Maybe the moderators will put the 800 number up on the screen, but you can call that number. But anyway, it is an investment. We're talking 20,000 ebooks. I mean, $100 worth of books. These books are in here. These things are $100. But it's all going to take you down a road of from all the conspiracies, or what I call the word on the street. That's our new word, everywhere. You're either going to find one of the best things that you ever can buy, which is here. This one, and it's going to be in this drive. It's going to show you every hand secret symbol out there that they're doing right in plain sight, who and all of these people that are doing it. And it's going to be also in this drive so that you don't have to go spend $100 and find these books that are not published anymore, that this stuff is out there. This on eBay is $150 minimum, and it's another big thing. And of course, once again, if you do decide, you can do that. So we're going to anyway, if you want to get in on that, even the investment of this, it will save you $20,000 worth of information. But anyway, just get with me and talk to me if you're going to be a truth seeker. Let's continue. Truth speaker. We got to go that route and continue down. Let's continue with the show. Here's another one. This one is very egregious when you get down to it, because they not only doing the one eye, but he's also showing the monarch butterfly mind control right there in plain sight. You can see it right there on his face, the eye with the monarch butterfly. And you think these all people don't have the same agents. They ain't got the same photographers that are making this stuff up. Once again, this is a media ritual. Mass reptilian entrainment. The one eye is used as an emblem of reptilian consciousness into what they call the hive mind of the masses. And it's not just the message, it's the broadcast of their frequency. And once you tune into it visually, your energetic field is entangled unless you know how to keep your vibration up, that we teach here, especially behind the scenes. And we do this. So I don't worry about this, but the knowledge is more. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. So that will bring it into a more conscious level for you, because it's operating subconsciously. But you can begin to block it. And then when you see it, you're just going to start laughing like, whatever, man, y'all tripping hard. And like I said, we will show plenty more of these so we can continue to do this thing as well. All right. So let me continue down this. And there is our number right up there, 888-345-9121. You can text me, call me. But again, if you are interested in becoming a true speaker, we have room for just a couple of more people. It is an investment, though, if that's something you decide. All right, so let me continue down not just a rabbit hole, but the road of truth. This lady was one of my favorites. She was one of my favorite, but she ain't paying. Listen, there she go again. One eye and the illuminated eye and the sun. That's where you see the rays around it and all of this. The symbolism goes back to them doing the one eye pose. And so it's there everywhere. And these people are doing it. And like I said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it goes. And when I show you some of these other people, it is going to really, it just hurt my feelings a little bit to kind of see a couple of people that was doing that and pretty much from there. But anyway, if you also finding any value tonight, you can support the show when you do that there. Let me take that down. All right. So anyway, you can support us. All right. So this one, let's go with this guy. Once again, do you think it's a fad, it's a trend, or it's a message? Are we getting somewhere that you seeing that this could be a message? So it is something that you want to pay close attention to when it comes down to this, and pretty much. And so once again, we're talking about the one eye and how they're doing it and everything that taps to it. When you start talking about, what kind of oath requires a silent symbol in public witness, once again, every time they cover one eye, they're not hiding from us. They're identifying with each other. They're letting each other know, I am also part of that same system. And this is what you see when it gets down to this from there. And again, it's blatant. Eric Roberts. Yeah, that's his name. And it's blatant and it's right there in front. And those are things that we can do from there. All right, so let's keep going. I got plenty more for you. This one here is my guy, Sly, Sylvester Stallone. Now, I can't even tell you that they're trying to make him look all sexy with the rolls, and that's another meaning too. But he has his 333, holding up his threes that you can see. Also, the wedding ring right there, which more likely, I'm just trying to make sure I turn my head to the side. Is it on the right finger? But anyway, he's covering up the eye and he's married to the 333. Maybe that's what he said. I don't know. But either which way, right there in plain sight, he's giving you his whole allegiance to where he is. And this isn't fashion. It's luxury and it's an altar and it's your attention. And every viewer is a participant in what they call the rite. And they dress this in pop culture, but it's always been priesthood performance. And like I said, when you start going all the way back in the next week or so, we will cover this particular scenario where this person, Snake Hall, the reptilian hall, where they do all of their stuff, who are ruling some most of the religious world, and it's tied all the way back into what we're talking about. And if you just pay close attention, you're not just going to see it, you're going to understand it, and it's going to get very deep as we continue to go down this one. Someone else said, I think the message is signaling that third eye is open. Not even close. Not even close. Yeah, but I get it. And people talk about in a non-literal, trendy way. Well, you know what? You could be right, though. Let's go back, They could be saying the eye of surveillance, all right? And it could be meaning, they see something we don't see. So, but I will say it's not the esoteric meaning of the greatness of opening up your third eye, from that standpoint. So I will go with you on that. So not to go against what you're saying, but it could be open and truly open. But hey, they are initiated into a secret society, occult knowledge, and occult situation, the Illuminati, all the way back up. So that, without a shadow of a doubt, we can put a pin and stick that right into it. All right, so let's keep going. I have plenty more to go down here. This one that we're going to show next is very interesting, and it's not somebody you don't know, but there you go right there. He's been doing it for quite some time, but when he went to the one on the left, that is the 333 and the 666, and just like Magnetics said earlier, it's representing Satan, and this is what they're doing. And like I said, you can talk about it, but maybe it's the knowledge, but it is showing that there's a lot of control there. And then on the right picture, he was already just kind of doing his homage to the third eye stuff there. But anyway, what would you? Well, how about this? What would compel hundreds of celebrities to repeat the same gesture? That's the question. What would compel hundreds of celebrities to do this over and over and over again? Well, it's more, like I said, in a sacred ritual, the more must be repeated, and they're bound not by choice, but by contract. And we're not talking about contract on money either. All right. We're talking about somebody else, and you don't choose to show the sign. You must show it. They have to show the allegiance without a shadow of doubt. And they have to do this. And that someone said maybe the photographers who tell them to do it. Yeah, right. I'm sure they do. And the photographers say you got to do it because such and such told you to do it, and all this. But you got to believe this, though, Dr. Strange. These people got handlers, managers, publicists, people that are handling their appearance, from everything they wear, look like, breathe, see, and all this stuff is orchestrated 100%. So it's not something that's just happened by mistake or happenstance, right? When it comes down to this, let's go to the next one. We all can see this one, Paul Cantor. Look, this guy has very lot of stuff on him. And when you see these tattoos, the way they're made, and they're made for a certain reason. Now he got the all-seeing eye, but he also, on that finger to the left, and the three fingers that he's showing for sure, and then also the upside down cross. The cross is upside down, and he knows that. He has all these other symbolism on him, but again, this is in plain sight. They're not trying to hide it. They're trying to put it out there. And these are just not what I call photo ops. These are rituals dressed in what we call glamour. And you're not looking at a celebrity branding. You're watching public initiation rites into a hidden hierarchy. And this is real, people. This is real. And that's it. And a lot of you can say, okay, so like I'm looking in here now, someone says, well, that cross, that's just the cross of Peter. It's a cross upside down. What does that mean to you? And when you got to look, and people, I want y'all to go, anytime you see me do this, you should go research it. You should Google, while we're talking, the meaning of the upside down cross. Go ahead and do that. It always going to mean several different meanings until you cross it up. If you get what I'm saying. The triangle upward mean one thing, and when you turn a triangle down, it's still the same triangle, but it has a hole different meaning when it comes down to it. So make no mistake about it. These are symbols, and symbols can be used for alternate meanings. But when anyone wants to go against the grain and say, okay, we got the cross this way. And matter of fact, let me go back and put this one up for you. And this is symbolism right now. So let's go with here. Here's the sinner's photo. You see the cross, right? The symbolism. Is that the cross of Peter, but using in a movie called Sinners? You know, would Peter like that or would it not? Is that appropriate? But that is a cross. You can turn it upside down, but you see between his legs going up in a cross. They made that particularly him standing in front of the cross. And of course, the name of the show is Sinners. So, all right, you can have the meaning and you can say what you want and you can defend it. That's all I'm saying. But we have to be not under the illusion that sometimes they send some messages and with this, and they're doing these things and pretty much from there. Someone said, I think they're trying to put it out there because hiding it isn't working anymore in the power. You know what? I would agree with you. I would agree with you because what happens is, and there is a shift too. We are moving into the world of Aquarius right now, or the time of Aquarius, and it's the knowledge, it's the Waterbury, it's the truth is going to now start to come out. So everybody's going to start trying to put out their truth. They're going to put out their truth. They're going to put out their truth because everybody want whatever it is to prevail, and it's up to us to kind of see what is happening when it gets down to that. And you can see that he says, I'm gonna see a line and I have 8.5 perspective depending on what it has. Yeah. No defense, no symbol is control of me. Roderick, don't fret. No, it's all good. No, it's the symbol. And just remember though, Cristobal, that some of this stuff is done subconsciously. You keep your vibration up. If that's what you're doing, yeah, you're going to be protected, right? That's how it is. But a lot of time this is done. So all of you drive a car. If you drove a car here in the United States of America, period, if you were about to enter or the highway, not enter the highway, but you're driving down the service road, the side road, and there are cars coming off the freeway, you see a sign called the yield sign, but it is a upside down triangle. Remember, the triangle subconsciously is not only feminine, but it's the submissive. It's bring down the energy from up, which is more fire and all that. So they're programming us when we're driving to make sure that we don't have road rage and let these people off the highway without causing a wreck. And that's why that symbol is used, the upside down triangle, for yield. Although we read the word yield, but it is talking to our mind to be able to do that. And you could take the words off of it and you put that symbol right where it is, it's still going to have the same meaning for you, and you're going to slow down and let them by. And that's something to look at into. All right, so let's keep going. I got plenty more, and some of them going to come up is going to get your attention. I'm like, really? This is not good ones from there. All right, so this next one, let me go all the way back. We have plenty of these. Here's another one right here. Once again, now look what he has. The same cross as Peter that he was just talking about on his finger. And of course, same guy, right? So why would he do what he's doing, right? So we have to continue to look at where it is. And now he has the heart. So let's move on pretty much. Here's Usain Bolt. All right. You know, all seeing eye, the three fingers, blah, 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 world fastest man. Now he got his triangles up. All of these things. These are three different occasions. Why would he do this on multiple occasions? Oh, well, he's from Africa. He's from the motherland, and maybe he knows something to do, say, or whatever. But at the end of the day, that is, again, you're talking repetition isn't style, it's programming. And the more you dismiss it, the deeper it embeds. And so accept what you see and understand they are one who are programmed. But if they can get us to see it, and then it changes everything right across the board. And he said Matt, not Mac, whatever his name, y'all can say it, whatever. But regardless, it is, again, yeah, Ryan, you're correct. It's so simple, but it's profound. It really is. It's right there, and it's so simple that I think people want to pay more close attention to it, and pretty much. Here's another one. Now, do you think he goes to the University of Texas? Do he go to the University of Texas? Or maybe he's doing sign language and saying, I love you in sign language, right? We know all these are different meanings and depending on where it is, right? And all of this stuff. So understand that. But he's showing you horns, he's showing you the eye, and he's showing you the symbol all in one. And do he needs to do that for a fashion show? No, he don't need to do that for a fashion show. That's Eminem, right? They never do this alone because the ritual only works when you watch it. And so the viewer is key to the activation, and the ritual is always participatory and attention, consent, and disbelief. So what do y'all think about that? Post in the comment. Do you see what I'm talking about? That's right here. And these are photos in places. Millions of people are seeing these. They're everywhere. They're seeing these everywhere. What do y'all thought about that? They're seeing this everywhere when it comes down to this and pretty much. All right. So I got more. I got plenty more. I'm going to show you plenty. So we're going to continue to do this because it is important that you know. But once again, if you're just joining us, all of our stuff tie into the triangle. The triangle, look at this right across the board. There's 3 sections to this: overlords, rulers, and under control. The overlords is the reptilian, is also demonic people. It's people that demons and all kinds of stuff that's not human, that's not seen, but mainly reptilian agenda. Then you're going to have the middle section, the masonry, secret societies, so to speak, your government, your CIA, the people that are in real control, banking systems and all of this people. And then they use the media and they use celebrities to bring people in control that you see in duality down there in the black and white checkers that you're going to see everywhere. And again, it's not a fashion. It is what it is. And continue to understand what's going on and pretty much. All right. So I got more. Let me see who else we're going to show next. Well, this one right here, I don't know if he's just trying to show he got a bad eye or whatever it is. And right across the board, though. And this one is just crazy as enough, right? And so you got to see what's happening. And if you think these people didn't do this, you got some other symbolism, tattoos on their hands and everything else. But we'll just kind of go from there and we'll move on into this particular photo. All right. Once again, did he, he's living a good life, but there you go. Now he's tying it back to Egyptian, maybe with all of the Egyptian stuff, but he's definitely covering up one eye and doing it on purpose. And do we think that he just said, okay, I just want to go in and pose like that? I just want to go ahead and go pose like that. They don't want your money. They want your gaze. They want your consent, your belief, because currency isn't cash anymore. It's consciousness, and the masses are paying with what we call spiritual energy or loosh and everything else. It's why important you want to keep your energy up. And this is what we're going to do. And know at the end of every show, even when we go into our private areas and really go offline into the Luminous Lounge or the Luminous Files or whatever we want to call it, that we go deep. And if you missed last week, go check it out. You can join and you can still see a link. It'll take you into our offline live streams that we do. This is not a drill, okay? This is not a drill. This is a focal of reality. This is in your face. This is the truth. And I still got more. And there's a couple of them that touch me that I think may touch you. And I'm like, really? No way. But it's true. Okay. And I'm going to show those coming up in a few seconds here or moments. However, I'm not saying these people are not good people. They're just trapped into whatever they are. They signed the deals. They was approached and somebody said, we're going to approach you and this is what's going to happen. And this is how it is. Here's something that we can discuss. And if you think that this is not done on purpose, check this one out right here. All right, beautiful lady. Now, do you not think that they accentuated those 2 pieces in the right place to predict what they're saying. I'm not going to keep focusing on that because that's going to be hard for somebody to see. But they do these things as purposely as they can, and we'll go. And like I said, we can go back to this one. Now, sometimes they do this in a subtle way, like this. This is very subtle. This is very subtle. Well, I got other pictures of him doing his one eye, but this is very subtle that they did the little, it almost went into a circle, the half circle over the eye. This is very subtle. They could have done, I know, well, Roderick, that was just a scratch. No, they do these in movies to give you very subtle hints that this is happening. Yes, that other picture, you're right, were horns. They were horns. And a lot of people don't see that these are horns, people, on purpose. There's a couple of Time magazine covers that I want y'all to go back and check. There was one with Bill Clinton, and there was one with Obama that Time Life did. When they put them on the cover, they positioned their heads right where the M would make double horns, right up above where it says Time. They positioned them there on purpose to send a message. All right. And so I'm just saying how this works. So let me continue to show you some more as we keep going. All right. What about this one? It's a movie. Now, do y'all see the word gate? We know what kind of horror film it was. You see the upside down cross, right? They do this on purpose to send you the message, the ninth gate, but the cross is upside down. Maybe it's the cross of Peter again, right? However, the eyes, the blood, the cover-ups, the shadow glass on one eye, you know, the broken glass, which is very synonymous with the MK Ultra program, you know, shattered mirrors and all this stuff. And again, they are sending those things for us. And once again, if you have or finding, you know, if you are and you're finding anything, you know, of value, you can once again support the show. That would be very good when you do. I think you should, and pretty much. But anyway, I will continue to go down the path to show you what we're talking about. And then, of course, there's a reason why. There is a reason why that you see what you see and everything else. So that's just something that they're doing. All right. All right. So let's keep going. We get it. One put it on there. What was the ultimate goal? The goal was I can still not even imagine. Oh my God. Yeah, man. It is there pretty much. All right. So here's something else that was pretty interesting out there. This was kind of just a photograph. Y'all can know who that is. But once again, really you see two eyes, but they're focusing on one eye because the other one is covered. That is something that they're doing. And this is photography to its finest. This one, once again, look at both of them. The eyes covered, and so is hers. And a little blood down there. The red rose, you better know what that means. The Rosicrucian and all those things. Once again, all these are different symbolism when it comes back, but it all leads back to the reptilian stuff. And so they're not just hiding this in plain sight. It is right there in your faces because it works. The next photo that I'm going to show you, they just came out with a new movie. It's the #1 movie on Netflix. Okay. This lady, what's her name? Viola, whatever. She's a president. Anybody seen that? Where she's a president of the United States. And of course, she's battling her. And what's the other guy? Anthony, whatever. And then they have a daughter. Anybody remember the daughter's name? Marissa? Let me know in the chat. If you remember the movie that I'm talking about, I call it G something. But if y'all remember, let me know. If you remember the movie where it's on Netflix, not Netflix now, I think it's Amazon or Paramount, one of them, but it's the #1 movie. And she's a lady president, and they ended up over at the G20 summit or whatever. It's on Amazon Prime. Okay, so y'all remember the name of the movie. And do y'all remember her daughter's name, right? She had a daughter who turned out to be pretty smart. G20, yes, that's it. Now, this was surprising because I watched the daughter and all the other movies, and I was just pretty like, wow, man, she's growing up. She's pretty much until I seen this one. She's in it. They got her. They got her. You know, they got her. 3 buttons, the fingers, the ring. She ain't married, but she's married. One eye. They got her. That ain't fashion, people. They got her. She's now part of the deal. And Once again, if it's staged, this is synchronized, then the script. But anyway, they're not posing. They're making territory and you're standing on it. And this is not expression, it's domination. And it marks what they believe. And there you go. I don't know what y'all think, but you can kind of see where I'm going with it. Is this a movie or a series? It's a movie. It's a great movie. And but anyway, what y'all think? Y'all see her. Y'all know who it is. She's on Grew Up. She was young, very good actress, very good, funny as heck. Now she's in. She's initiated. And there you go. So, yep. And so we can kind of go with that one. All right. Here's another one that we'll put up on the screen. There you go. Rolling Stone. It ain't just going into pop cultures all over the place. This is kind of pressure I want. Timothy, whatever his name is. But anyway, he got the one eye. He got the three fingers at the top because the other fingers are not connected. And they're saying what they're saying. And you have to know the meaning of that if you go back to what we're talking about. And once again, it's energy harvesting through symbolic consent is what they're doing. And you have to pay a close attention to what you see. And then you can understand further of what I'm talking about. And it's interesting enough. And I think it's something that they can do. And we can probably go. It's one of those things, and pretty much Ryan says, can't take this seriously at this point. Everything, he says, every time it makes me laugh. Well, I mean, I don't know. And it could be. It's observed to me. It definitely is a thing. Yeah. And it's something that they're doing, and pretty much. So what are your thoughts, Ryan? Do you think, are they doing fashion? You know what I mean? Or are they doing, what are your thoughts when you now see this and as prevalent as it is, and you go back and you study the eye of Horus, the true meaning and who's behind these people and what's control? What do you think? He says, the thing is, what's the thing that they do? Oh, the thing. Okay. So when you say what they do, you mean doing why they do that? Well, you got to remember there's people up above them, the archons, then the elites, okay, which is going to be your Illuminatis, okay, the people and other secret society that practice the Masonic rituals and all these things. When they have someone under their control, the handlers send a message. So if you ever remember the movie Blade, right? Blade came out. The vampires in the movie will mark all of the people as property or something, right? They will put a mark. So when another vampire will bite them, they will say, oh, wait a minute, you're owned by whatever. Remember the guy, one of the other two. So they will mark their territory. When you see this, it's more of them saying, it's them giving homage to the people that are watching them. Then the people who are other places could look and say, oh yeah, this person is under control. This person is under our control. And that is what they're talking about. Fashion is a cult too, Roderick. 2 verse 30. We have someone's name on your body. Why have someone's name? I don't know. I think it's pretty much. But all right, well, let's go with this one. How about that? All right. Now, okay, so let me, okay, so what I'm going to do now, we all know who this guy is, right? Is that not as blatant as you can get it? He don't have a headache. He really don't. He doesn't have a headache, but he really doesn't. All right. And so, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you know how this is done, how this is programmed. Okay. Y'all pay attention to what I'm going to show you now. Then you can kind of say, well, Roderick, this doesn't make sense, and we can kind of do this, whatever, which way they want to do it. All right. Look at this one. Anybody know who she is? Put in the name in the chat and tell me a little bit about her real quickly. Anybody know who she is? Anyone know who she is? Just come on and tell me real quick. Tell the rest of the world real quick who she is. What do you think about her movement and everything else? But anyway, do you know who she is? I'm waiting on the chat. I know there's a little delay, but let's go with it. Tell me who that is. So why is there 3 fingers in the iris photo? Yeah, there we go. So where? Well, it depends. Some of them are a little more blatant when they want to show you pretty much. Anyone, can I get a name? He don't have a headache. Can I get a name? Y'all know who it is, okay? All right. So Olga is what y'all seeing. All right, Greta. All right. That girl is angry about climate. Okay, well, let's go with this. All right. So at this point, y'all know who she is. She's angry about climate. And you saw the 3 fingers in the shadow there, how they took the picture, hiding one eye, 3 fingers. Okay. Here's another photo that they put out there. Once again, her closing one eye. Now you may think, how young is she? Okay. She's young. Okay. Maybe this isn't right. This is what she's doing, and pretty much. And yeah, she's a young activist in all of those things. She's being used to push an agenda. Absolutely correct, she is. All right, and to let you know what I'm about to show you next, you may not believe it. All right, here is a photo of her mother, her father, and her sister when they were babies, when Greta was a baby. Look at the photo of the 2 daughters, her, Greta, when she was a little bitty baby, and her sister, in which everybody already know who her father is, and he's a control handler. But look at the photo for yourself. There she is right there. She's a young kid. That's her. When she's a kid, look how they got both of their children posing, the colors they're wearing, the crowns, and as well as what they're doing with their hands. Do you think we're just making this stuff up? Do you think we're making this up? Do you think we're making this up? Yeah. Yeah. This is her when she was a young baby, her and her mother and father. You can go look up the magazine article and you'll see the same photo I just showed you with her and her parents. And look what their parents were doing to her then, and her sister. Look what they were doing then. And you think it was it's a pose? You think all of this was not planned and not instilled while she was a kid? Because they start them very young for the programming. Yes, they sold out their children because that's what they do. This is what they do. All right. And they do this at a young age. And this is what I'm talking about. And the programming exists. And most of the programming, like Britney Spears and all these people, is their parents or the programmers. They're working for Monarch, MK Ultra, and some of these elites offer their children in some of the insidious ways. Now, if you think that wasn't well enough, how much money? Now, I know the actor I'm about to show you, he has a transgender kid, okay? And maybe he's showing support, but we all seen him. We know who he is, but what do you think about this one? Yeah, he's doing it. He's showing it. He's letting you know the one eye and what's going on. Yeah, we might think that's some artistic work, but they do it all kinds of ways. They do it all kinds of ways when they put things out there, and pretty much. And so, yeah. And Lydia said, why all these kids? She's talking about how they get approached. And the next person is, how much? But there you go. And they do these pictures, man, because it is real. It is out there. It's in real time. It is something, and it's not just white people. It's black, green. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. There's no race on the bottom levels of the Illuminati who they control. They ain't got nothing to do. It's not a racial thing at all. It's power, prestige, and anything else that they know that the public is going to fall in love with. Here's another magazine here. Once again, Juice World guy. This dude here, I got a couple of pictures for him, and he's been doing it for a long. One big whole picture, one eye. It's all just staged, right? That's what we would think. Then we see this one. Now that rose, I want you to know Go look up the rose for the Rosicrucian and all of that. That rose has a meaning. You saw that earlier with a couple of people had roses with them, right? So these different initiates could be at different levels, right? They all going to show homage to the control with the one eye, but they can say, okay, I do the 3 letters. It just depends upon them, the 3 showing what they do. But once again, you can see it. And he don't waste time putting it out there. And you see his tattoos. And he has the number 7, and he has more 7s. And if you know who else had 7s on him, was Michael Jackson. So you want to go back, and that goes back to Alice Crawley or Alex Crawley or whatever his name is. But anyway, y'all can figure that name out. Correct me if you want. But either which way, this happens in plain sight. Yeah, it's just what it is. Wait to see the handlers. I'm sure they have enough, man. The handlers out there, they're everywhere. But most of them are some of these parents, man. And that's how they do choose. He says the rose is like a compass rose for navigation. Yeah, it's all symbolic when they do this. And if you think that's weird enough, then you wouldn't believe this one. And yet, oh yeah, she's running for president. She's on our side. Man, they all on the same team. They're on the same team. If you think that ain't symbolic enough, an American flag in a circle covering up one eye. If that don't tell you enough, why? That should tell you enough. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Monica says a rose has the highest vibration as a plant essential. Yeah. Yeah. And the flag is backwards. Whatever it is, but they're definitely telling you what time it is, unless she could be like, hey, I'm on the other team or whatever. People, this is how it rolls. And if you joining us tonight, remember, and let me give you an explanation of what you're seeing if you're just joining us tonight. Let me find my notes back over here for you. The one eye symbol is a submission to the elites. Okay, so when they do this, they are submitting to these people. Let me go to the second. They're submitting to these people, the rulers, okay? These people, where you just see these people doing this, are submitting to this, because the rulers are not doing the one eye. They got the people that are in their pocketbooks and their handlers showing the one eye. So that's where you see that happening. And so just understand that. The eye is the eye of Horus. Go look it up. Okay, ancient occult symbol of sacrifice, spiritual vision, allegiance to hidden controllers, normally to the original Illuminati bloodlines. Okay, that's where it all goes back to. So do not forget what we're talking about here. Okay, the original Illuminati bloodlines. But I got more. So let's continue down here. Here's another one. Y'all know who that is. You not only, but there you go. You got your one eye. You got everything shown. And like I said, not everybody may want to show how things are going, but they definitely do it now, and they don't have to do the 3 666 symbols, but they still keep it all focused on the same world where things are, and pretty much. And so this goes to where it is, and I think it's something that they do. So it's worth looking at when it comes down to that. So let me look at the chat. Michael Jackson. Yeah, Michael Jackson. I'm going to do a whole show on him, some of his songs, what happened, his symbolism, who he was connected to, Crowley, which is every bit of the satanic magic of everybody behind Prince Charles and the rest of them. Even you can look on some of his clothing. He'll have the 777. It's on the album covers, some of the songs that he was singing, the verbiage he was saying in the song. He was sending messages for a long time. I got some old photos of him doing his eyes and his thing. We had the guy on the show that was talking about the rituals that the Shalites. Go back and see some of those old videos of the father and doing rats and stuff, which is reptilian stuff. Remember, he said some of those people with Joe Jackson that he claimed allegedly were, reptilians. Remember, the show is on here. Y'all can go back and look it up. Find the video, you can't miss it, and definitely check it out. So you can kind of do that. Here's another one. As shocking as it seems, Stranger Things, right? Now they got her as a sex symbol. So if you go start looking up some of her photos now, they don't change her whole appearance now. And once again, she got some that's blatantly with one eye photos. Even when you see other little stuff she's doing, you think that's by happenstance. Oh, she's just showing the colors by showing you one side of the eye. They hide this stuff in plain sight when they do this, okay? When they do their hair, the horns on the hair, all of this thing, the 3 roses on her chest. These things are meticulously put there in places that the others know what it means. We just don't know what it means when it comes down. Okay, so these are things that they do, like I say, in plain sight, but just go check it out. Go check it out for yourself when we can do this. Now, this is a good one. Madonna. Look at all the X's, the necklace, the X on the eye. Remember I told y'all about Elon Musk, the X and the meaning or what that meant, and people thought I was crazy. Oh, you should have seen the comments on the last show. Ryder, you don't know what you're talking about. He named X after his transgender son. No, he didn't. And if he did, he covered it up. He could say it. But what, XAI? He don't even talk to the kid. So why would he name a company he just bought after the kid today? He don't even talk to the kid. But this right here shows you she's doing it. She got the left eye and she's doing the X symbols. Go look it up. Go watch the last video when I put Elon Musk in the X and how that goes back to Osiris, how that goes back. People, these things are sitting there. Now, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. And she's been illuminated a long time. Now, I'm starting to do a lot of research to where, especially in this book, this big book, Be Wise as a Serpent. There's a lot of stuff in here that talks about the serpent knowledge and wisdom. So there's a lot of stuff on one hand could be useful that you look into. And that don't mean that the serpent knowledge is not good for bad or used for both. So keep in mind, if you are a superhero, and I'm a superhero, we both were gifted with God's gift of a superhero powers, you and I both. But if you decide to continue down a path and you now want to use your superpowers for evil, and I want to use my superpower to continue fighting good, you both got superpowers. This is why it's essential that you understand there's a lot of mythology and there's a lot of symbolism that can be used both ways. They just draw from the power of it. And then some people brand it as their own or brand it within their organization or entweave it into what they're doing. This is why I tell y'all it's important. Today, if you're going to get somebody to create you a logo for your business, get them to start incorporating natural, hidden, esoteric symbols and all these things to activate the subconscious power of what you're doing, because it's worth it for you to do such a thing. And it's something that I will tell you to do. And this one here, I think I showed you this one before, or did I not? And let me go all the way back and scroll up. Okay. And maybe I did. Nope, I didn't. So here's another one right here. That's Justin Timberlake. Now, you've seen the stuff that we talked about with him. And it's hard to believe all these people are married, but they sure put a wedding ring up to them threes, don't they? I don't think a lot of these people are married. Maybe they are, but they sure like to say who they married to and let you know when they do it. But look it up. I don't know who his wife is, and maybe he's married, and maybe he's not. And those are things that you want to know and look at. So, all right, I have a couple of more. Here's another one here that's right there. He ain't wasting no time, doing what he's doing, showing you. And why would someone take a photo like that if they didn't want to have a meaning? And I'm sure he's like, man, I'll take the photo. Go ahead, man. I'll take it. All right. What do you want me to do? And yeah, I'm sure he was told to do what he was doing. And once again, look it up and you will see that this thing is actually one of those things. Paula said, I actually feel bad for these suckers. They play a role. They're assigned. Yeah, they are. And they all do their role. They all going to do their parts. But it all goes back down to controlling society, sending the messages. Because you got to remember, they all don't talk to each other. When I'm saying this, So, but if you go look up this particular thing, hang on. If you go look up here, there are sections on the secret handshakes that you see them do. They all have these secret handshakes that is out there in public. So that's another way of them showing all of us what they're doing. And so a lot of these things are done in plain sight. But anyway, if you're going to find out about all this information, hit me, because if you want to be tomorrow's podcaster or whatever, and you want to get ahead of the whole world of game, in here, 20,000 ebooks, 3,000 videos, 20,000 audio files, and it's a group of us, man. We all can't go. I can't go through this by myself. It'll be a lifetime. But now we starting to have some people find something. Some people looking up the chemtrail. Some people looking at 9/11. Some people looking at even more stuff that we can't talk about. And we're like, oh, Ryder, you see that? You see that? I'm like, yeah, because I would have never seen it. It's hard because you just can't go through all that by yourself. But this, there's a story behind it. And if that's something you want to be a part of or whatever, it is something that for the people that's going to be out here eventually want to be what I call truth speakers, not just truth seekers, because this is going to go another way. All right, so here's another photo right there, and we know who she is, Angelina Jolie, beautiful girl, and that's her name. Now, this last photo that I'm going to show you, I'm not really for sure who they are, but it caught my attention, and I'm like, wow. But anybody know who these people are, or one of them? She got one eye open at the top, as you can see. She got her one eye open. And then her hair is covering up his eye. So he got one eye. And I guess she's naked. I would love to be in that photo. She can wrap up and close my eyes, one of them, so I can still see all of that. But who is this person? Anyone knows? Y'all know who it is? Yeah, we can do something they want. Call us crazy. What's going on lately? Nothing is hidden. Yeah. Anybody know who this is? Put it in the chat real quick, and we can kind of go there. Naomi Campbell. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was her. Yeah. I think no, they don't tell them what to do. The handlers tell them. You got to remember, the photographers don't know. They're just taking the pictures. But whoever handle and set these things up, Damon, they're the ones who tell them what kind of picture they're going to be taking. Because you got to remember, everything is orchestrated. They don't walk in without $1 million publicists and all these people that don't know. But you can see right there, she got one eye open, and then he got her hair is over one eye. They got the X. Go look at the bottom down there. She got her hands in an X, not just on his shoulders holding it, but it's turned. So he literally have her hands turned in an angle. He's holding it, but they're making the X symbol as well. All of this stuff, man, and we're not supposed to notice. See, we're not supposed to notice, but the other people who are entwined knows who they are, and they know that they all can be handled, and they're all a part of the regime from there. And like I said, we know what happened today. The Pope himself. Now, in my case, I just believe that he's going to move into another body. Whatever he's going to do. But we're going to do a show more about this. But I do want you to focus on the ceremonies that we're going to see. And this is where he speaks. This is Snake Hall, Reptilian Hall. Okay. So I want you to focus on the ceremonials so you can see how they send him off, or the generation to the next, and all the resentment. Look, those are deities sitting behind them. These are things that people are in front of every single time. And this is ruling the world. And so in the religious world, bankers and everything else. And so, yeah, and it's kind of funny. Lucy said the Nephilims. I'm watching on Amazon the story of David and Goliath or whatever. They have the season 1 is there, and I watched it all the way through. It's some interesting stuff in there. It's some real life lessons, and it talks about the angels, how they was thrown down, and they was either sent here, and they were sent here to protect mankind, and then ultimately they found the women beautiful, mated with them. God was mad, and then he turned around, and from that abomination they created these giants, which are the Nephilims, and then they ended up sending them below Earth, right? In a fiery pit down below, and it all goes back. And if you see, they got the Nephilims in this movie, and the lady say, "We are the kings." The mother, who is the mother of those 5 left Nephilims, the 4 giants is left. It's a great movie, or series. And so I watched all 8 episodes, just season 1, but it's right there. They talk to the stories and everything else, and pretty much. Roderick, her house has a eye aerial view. Really? Is that the one I've seen on the internet that has the eyeball out in like California somewhere? Is that her eye or something? There you go. And we can kind of look into that. The internet got jokes saying that it's JD Vance's fault because he was just visiting with him. You know what? Even though he was sick a little bit, but even when the royal family, when she transitioned, it was pretty quick. One day she was there, next day, boom. And then y'all remember when they did hers, they did the DNA strain and all those lights and stuff, so they paid homage. So I would imagine, they're going to blow the smoke for right now or whatever they're going to do. But we want to always, all of us, pay close attention to the arrangement, the recession that they're going to have. And I guarantee you, we're going to see some stuff in there that we need to see and talk about. And now that you've been here and you can focus on it, you're going to recognize it from there. All right, we got 150 people in here. If all of you right now can take the opportunity right now for me and hit your like button, please. That will be such a wonderful thing if you can go ahead and hit the like button. We have about 80 or 90 likes, but if we can get this to a few hundred, and then if you are able to, when the live stream is over and you did enjoy the content, to go back and place a comment, into the comments about this particular video and live stream tonight, we can do that. Now, we will be in our back office, and we will be back in a couple of days here, so make sure you, if you're not subscribed to the channel, set those alerts if you had not. And when we go live, and then when we go uploading some things too. So I want you to pretty much do that as well. If you also find value tonight, we got a big couple of things that I can use your help with that I'll probably try to announce, but it's for our community and for us. And if you want to make any contribution, this is a community channel. You can do that. There is a banner that's going to our Cash App there. All right. With that being said, we are done. We're done tonight. And I think we've done a good job of giving you the information that you will need. And remember, you got to keep your energy up. It's all about them after our energy. I'm just warning and tell you that everything goes down there. So if you have not, go to the website tonight, download the Book of Sacred Secrets, and you're going to learn some stuff. This is all right here. Pope, pineal gland, all this stuff. Man, they're doing this in plain sight. You'll see why they're doing the 3 eyes. You'll see why they're doing the 666. It's all pictorial too, so you can learn from visuals and everything else. Share this with your children too, anybody, man, and let them know. But you can go and download it tonight at wildabiggsecret.com/merch. Then I just printed this up on Amazon. This little book is like $8 and put them into the slides so that I can reference this when I want, and pretty much. And like I said, some deep information, but it's all about protecting our energy, your vibration, you learn about the Kundalini, all the stuff you need so that they do not take things from you like they're trying to do us when they bring our vibrations down, because that is what everybody's overlooking. Everybody's just seeing these things, but it's all intended to bring our vibration down to a certain level so they can feed off the loosh when it does that. All right. So anyway, been a plum, pleasing presence. I love each and every one of you. You know I do. I always do, and pretty much. And I will say to everyone, make sure once again that you pretty much take care of yourself. All right. And first of all, I love you. If somebody have not told you that you're loved, then I want to tell you, I love you. Okay. Oftentimes I look to hear the words, I love you, but I'm not shy enough to look in the mirror and tell myself that I love me and I love me some me and you love you some you. But we got to love other people outward too, because love is the most powerful energy that they have that they cannot steal, take, or control when it comes down to it. because the heart wants what the hearts want, but also love is universal. And I say this all the time because I say to my haters, you can hate me, you don't even know me, but I can still love you and without ever meeting you. That is a powerful thing to know that you're loved, and you can hate someone who loves you, or someone that don't even know you can love you. At the same time, it is important that you know that you are loved. So go hug someone, share the videos, let the world know that we know, we see them, we see it, we understand it. And the word on the street is that they cannot control who we are and what we do, and we're going to continue to do it. The helpful part, if more and more people get to these channels and knowledge, and we're going to keep going deeper and deeper, we're going to go deeper. All right, so make sure you do what you got to do.
Welcome, Truth Seeker. You are no longer asleep. I am Luminous, the Owl of Truth. The world is blind, but you have opened your eyes. Welcome to the fire of esoteric knowledge and truth. You are now one of the awakened. You are now luminous. Welcome to the rebellion. Welcome to truth versus authority.